The man disappeared into the grim blast of the kitchen, and the border collie crouched on its haunches at the foot of the stairs and growled and snickered back its lips.
Perfection, Carter. A real home from home.
They helped the proprietor erect a bed in their room, which overlooked a weed-choked railway embankment and a pair of crumbling pillboxes. Carter Brandon wiped the bed springs with a hard-spined, balding flannel from the bathroom, and Uncle Mort stuffed up the mouse holes with the putties from his kit bag. Then they were invited downstairs into the front parlour.
This is where the wife died.
So would I, if I had to live with the colour of that bloody carpet.
She were a pigworm, my wife.
Well, beggars can't be choosers, can they?
We moved here 53 years ago from Yorkshire. Was you aware I hail from Yorkshire?
Certainly. I can tell by the singe marks on your singlet.
I hate the south, me.
Then why don't you move back north?
Because I hate the north too. I hate everything, me. I hate everything and I hate everybody.
You want to join the BBC, then? You might end up as an announcer on the third programme.
The elderly man sighed deeply and prodded in his mouth with a humpbacked bradawl.
I was ever fortunate enough to have 12 teeth.
You can have a lend of mine if you like.
No, Tar. Not after you've been eating custard creams.
They sat in silence. The dog lay panting in the lee of a splintered commode. From time to time it hitched up its back leg and sniffed warily at its private parts.
I wish dogs wouldn't do that.
Why?
Because it always makes me feel vaguely discontented with my lot in life.
Silence once more. The elderly man picked idly at the verdigris on the buckles of his braces. He threw off his carpet slipper, took out a rusty gardening knife from his pocket, and commenced to whittle at a bunion on his big toe.
Shall we go out, then?
You can't.
Why not?
I lock up at 5 o'clock.
You what?
This establishment closes its doors at 5 o'clock sharp and don't reopen till 8 o'clock the following morning, when you'll have to sling your hook. Right. I'll escort you to your bedroom and show you how to work the bolster.
He took them upstairs to the bedroom. Carefully he counted the congealed moths on the flypaper and grunted with pleasure. And then...
Struth! He's gone and locked us in.
Well, of course he has, you great pillock. He told us specific he came from Yorkshire, didn't he? They lock everything away there. They don't even give parole to happiness.
I want to go home, Carter. I want my own bed, and the picture of my mother gazing at me from the washstand, and the smells of home cooking coiling and writhing about me nostrils.
Ye gods, things must be bad.
They are, lad, they are.
He began to shiver. He began to tremble from head to foot. His teeth chattered, and he said softly,
I served all through the First World War, Carter. I was took prisoner by the Hun, 3 mile outside Bethune, and thrown into this dungeon with a load of jocks from Partick Thistle. There was water streaming down the walls and rats as big as border terriers. And these great towering bastards with bullet heads and scarred cheeks and thin lips flecked with spittle used to glare at me, silently, sneeringly, as I cowered in the corner. And I knew, given half a chance and a serious breach of the Geneva Convention, they'd run a bayonet right through me ribs and use me ears as castanets. And the German guards were almost as bad too. It were horrendous, Carter. Diabolical. But I'll tell you this, lad. It were nowhere near as bad as what it is here. Nowhere in a million years.
Give over whinging. Don't be such an old woman.
He took a metal coat hanger from the back of the door and began to prod tentatively at the sill of the window. He scraped and he scratched. He grunted with concentration. He heaved and he levered.
You're flogging a dead horse there, Carter. What you want to do is build a tunnel. Mind you could always construct a glider and then...
Shut up!
At length he moved the window. There was a splintering of rotten wood, and inch by inch he levered the sash upwards.
Don't make such a noise, Carter. If he catches us, we're doomed. He'll make us eat supper with him. He'll do impersonations of the River Humber. He'll stick a colander on his head, stand on one leg and pretend he's an ice-beat-your-weight machine at Darlington Station. Nothing's too devilish for him, lad, I know his sort. I once saw Nona Wynne eating a tin of pilchards.
Will you shut up?
Carter Brandon gritted his teeth, and then with a great wrench and a spurt of sweat, he opened the window. He gazed down on the sloping roof of the coal shed.
Right.
Let's go.
Carefully he climbed out of the window. A slate scuttered down the roof of the shed and lodged itself in the crumbling gutter.
For God's sake, be careful. If he catches us now, we'll be transshipped to Pomerania. Even worse, we might end up in Pontefract.
Silently and slowly they slithered down the roof of the shed and dropped softly to the ground. They crouched in the shadows. Through the dust-murked window of the back parlour they saw the elderly proprietor of the lodging-house sitting at a formica-topped table. Before him was a photograph album. He was shredding it to pieces with a carving knife.
Got it. I knew his face. Who is he? Cecil Beaton.
But he's dead.
Well, not surprised, living in a dump like this.
And then disaster struck. Uncle Mort turned sharply. He tripped over a kennel and fell headlong to the gravel path. The border collie poked out its head and barked. It barked, and it barked. The back door was flung open and a voice said,
Who is it? Who's there? Oh, it's you. What do you want?
Aye, well, we was wondering if, well, we're looking for accommodation for the night.
Well, that's a bit dodgy, isn't it? I've already got 2 blokes in the back bedroom upstairs. Tell you what, I can put you up in the coal shed at £8 a night.
Done. You're on.
They slept soundly that night. When they awoke in the morning, Uncle Mort yawned and stretched and said,
I had a dream last night about that barmaid from the pub.
Oh, what was it like?
Same as sleeping in this coal shed. Not as exciting as cutting the landlord's bunions, but infinitely better than going on a delegation to Bulgaria.
that morning,
That was The Great Escape. Stephen Thorne played Uncle Mort, Sam Kelly was Carter Brandon, Liz Golding was the barmaid, and Christopher Good was Bernard Torkington. The narrator was Christian Rodska. Uncle Mort's South Country was written by Peter Tinniswood and produced by Pete Atkin.